I call the shots, I never call it quits. Trust my intuition, bet it's right and bitch, it often is. Seen too many others come and go, they had the wrong intent. Do it out of love and never for it, then I watch it get bigger than expected. Don't second guess it, I let it set it. It's God's plan, we out here only accepting blessings. I'm stuck with it, this mindset is terminal. In and out different terminals, leveling up is personal. And I already made it, y'all can miss me. I smack my girl's ass, tell her pinch me. It's hard to believe I made something from nothing. No hindsight discussions, I've been writing, I love
it. Welcome to the 3 Gig Sports Podcast, where we are never wrong, just sometimes misinformed. Danny G sitting alongside my guy Jimmy tonight. How we doing, baby?
Not too bad, my man.
Not too bad at all. I'm excited to get a more consistent third wheel here. Okay.
Yeah.
We got to get him. He's MIA at the moment, taking care of some shit, but we're going to get him back hopefully sooner than later.
Who's that? The Spirit of One Rio?
The Spirit of Rio.
The Spirit of Rio.
Might have to get a little more feisty tonight just in his name. You know.
There you go. We'll get chippy a little bit. Just in that. What do you mean? I'm like, well, I swear to God, I will
shut the fuck up over there.
Fuck up. With all due respect. And then my wonderful, big, strong, handsome, jackass son.
He is beautiful.
Mr. Dominic over there.
That's right, baby. Big football game tomorrow night. We're looking to get the dub, right? You guys play Cresco.
Gotta take care of business. We watched some game tape last night.
Let's go.
We did watch it on the big screen downstairs.
Love it.
Yeah, he didn't know I could mirror from my laptop there, and he's like, holy shit. I'm like, yeah, we're watching some shit. What's up?
That's right, man. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I love it. Getting prepped. About to throw some people around tomorrow. Before we kick off to news and notes, Jimmer, I have a very important question to ask you.
Yes, sir.
Because I don't know if we feel the same about this. We heard the other night, it was a big deal. It was all over the media and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Aaron Judge hit his 61st home run. So now he is basically, so he's got the record now for American League home runs. Tied, I do believe, but he's still number one. My question for you is it that big of a deal?
Yes.
Okay.
In a short answer.
Enlighten me. Why?
So, to me, so when I went a little way a second ago, I will bring that back in a second, but I'm going to start with this. Roger Maris that a lot of people still consider that the record.
Because games, right?
No. They consider that the record because the other ones had
steroid
implications to them or suspicions. I think
allegedly.
But that being said, it is you pass the Yankee, an all-time Yankee. It is a contract year, obviously, so maybe that plays into it. There's been no suspicion up to this point of any steroid use. And you're doing it against, quite honestly, some of the most dominant pitchers in MLB history. And I'm not talking about, I'm not saying like in the last like 20 years. I just mean if you go back to when Maris was doing it, you weren't facing a legit ace almost every single night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what you're going to get, it is impressive. This guy was a strikeout machine, right? I haven't looked right now. I don't have it in front of me, but I'm sure he still has plenty of strikeouts. But 61 is a highly impressive number. I mean, you have a lot of pressure on you. He bet on himself. And when he shot down that what he thought was a shitty deal that was offered to him in the first place by the Yankees, he bet on himself. And this man's going to get paid, and he did it under the limelight of New York City. While also leading them, I do believe they're still leading the division too. So it's translated to wins also.
Okay.
I do believe, and I don't know where you're going to go. I think I know where you're going to go, but I do believe that the Yankees do get that boost. So to keep this very simple in what I mean, very, very, very simple, is if a 3-star athlete signs on with the University of Iowa, all of a sudden he'll get dropped to a 2-star. But if that same said athlete, instead of going to the University of Iowa, goes to the University of Alabama, that 3-star turns to a 4-star. It's going to happen.
Okay.
So, like, when you have the notoriety and the history of the Yankees on your side, you're going to get a little bit of an elevation, a little bump, because you're a Yankee.
Like it's more prestigious
Yes.
type of a thing. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, all that's fair.
What do you got?
So let me start off by being nice here, okay?
Yep.
So if he ends up with the Triple Crown, awesome. He's there right now. It looks like he might get it. So I'm all here for that. Great job. He bet on himself. I love that shit. Lamar Jackson's doing the same thing this year, right, in football. Yep. So I love that. But let's use that same analogy and look at football. Jimmer, what is the AFC record for passing yards in a season?
It's got to be. Do you know this answer? Is that why it's a quiz? It's got to be here recently. Whether it was Peyton Manning, whether it was Tom Brady.
Yeah.
It was over 5,000 yards.
So the reason you don't know that answer is because there's no AFC record. There's an NFL record for passing yards in a season, for touchdowns in a season, for all of that. It's not broken down in half. Okay? Mm-hmm. So that's part of it. This man has, how many different guys have hit more home runs than him? Mark McGwire has on multiple occasions. Sammy Sosa has on multiple occasions. I think on 4 occasions Sammy had. Barry Bonds, obviously, because he's got the ultimate record, right? It's not, so it's a big deal in the sense that he's going to get the Triple Crown, which includes home runs. But the 61 doesn't matter because it's not the actual MLB record for home runs in a season. So I just think it's being overblown. The one other bit that I can give him credit for, I can't remember the exact number, but there's an obscene number of teams this year, Jimmer, that have a batting average under 300 as a whole. It's insane. So people can't hit the ball right now, right? For whatever reason.
So technically that comes back to my pitching conversation.
Right. So I can give him some credit for that because he's got the batting average as well too. But the number of home runs is what everybody's so focused on. But they always have to caveat it with American League record. And that's where I'm at. I know the steroid implications are there and everything like that. But you take Barry Bonds out of it, and there's nothing definitive on McGwire or Sammy Sosa, even though we could all guess. We could all say what we think. So he doesn't have the record. American League record doesn't mean anything to me.
I'm with you. I am. I can see where you get bothered by it too. I think this is the nice way of the sports writers not flat out saying this is what we believe the record is.
Yeah.
That it shouldn't be tied to steroids. That's the reason why it's impressive to them, because he hasn't been tied to steroids. Like I said, to this point, we'll see. Hopefully never. Because I don't like seeing stuff get talked about, but the dude old boy Barry Bonds smacked 70 fucking home runs and off of a over 300 batting average. That year he was so lethal, he was only getting 2 at-bats a game because they were walking him the other 2 times he was at the plate or more.
Yep.
That man, a home run may send that, the steroids may send it, 15 feet further, but doesn't mean he still wasn't going to crank that many home runs either. And it doesn't help with your, ball, bat, eye, hand coordination. I think it's kind of a big deal, and you know me, I hate the Yankees, and I do. I do think it's actually kind of a cool story. I think it is. I think it's he bet on himself. I like seeing someone bet on himself and kind of shove it to them also. In a way, it's kind of me liking him because he's shoving it to the Yankees. Like, motherfucker, you tried to undersell me.
Yeah.
I've done nothing but been committed to you to this point. I've had injury history and stuff, but I've been committed to you, and I've done this, and you technically, in his opinion and his thought process, is that you insulted me.
Yeah.
And trying to play like cheap ass. And he's showing not only is he a home run guy, you just said he is in the running, and it's saying right here all over, in the running, legitimate shot on pace to win the MLB AL Triple Crown.
Yep.
So it's still the AL Triple Crown, by the way, too.
Touché, yeah.
But it's that's still highly impressive, and I think it is kind of impressive. So 61 home runs to tie Maris. Anytime you get 60, when was the last time we seen 60? You just mentioned the few guys that have gotten there, so it's impressive just to see it.
Yeah,
I don't think you like the words or the verbiage being used, right? Is that what you're getting at more?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not a major league record. It's an American League thing. They're making it seem like it's a major league record.
Yeah.
And let's be real, the gentlemen of recent, over the last 20 years that have gotten over 60 home runs, to your point, they've all been tied to something.
Yes.
We think of steroids, but you can't forget about Sammy's corked bat.
Yes.
Right? They've all been tied to something, and we have not seen what or what not Judge could end up being tied to here ultimately too, right? Mm-hmm. That's a shitload of home runs, and the way guys just can't catch up with pitchers right now, I think it'd be dumb to say there's no way he's on anything or somehow figuring out a way to beat the system. And again, I'm not opposed to that. I think you just let everybody cheat. I don't give a fuck as long as everybody can do it.
Right.
But
then
if that's the criticism to Barry Bonds, to Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, then you've got to look at him too. You've got to figure that out. That's where I'm at, man.
Let me give you a little bit of something, okay? Since we're on this.
Yeah.
You were talking about games, right? The games take it like used to actually get to your home run, right? Did you know? And I said 70, by the way. I stand correct. It's 73.
Yeah.
Mark McGwire hit 70.
70, was that it?
So here's the list of. We'll go from 60 on up, okay? So the 60 club and up is Mr. Babe Ruth with 60, Roger Maris with 61, Aaron Judge tied with 61, Sammy Sosa 63, Sammy Sosa 64, Mark McGwire 65, Sammy Sosa 66, Mark McGwire 70, and Barry Bonds 73. So, the next then the one I'll give you one that's even more recent. The next closest, this is why this is a little more why it's a little impressive to me. The closest to get there in our time frame era, if you want to call it, was semi recent. It was Giancarlo Stanton in 2017 hit 59.
59 is what it was. Okay.
Yep. So, but transitioning to where's it at? Games. The fastest to 60 home runs was Barry Bonds still with 141. Aaron Judge still took some games. Where's it at? Past 61. Where's it at? The first part was, so it took him, that is what it was. We'll say it to 61. Barry Bonds, it only took 144 games. Mark McGwire also, they both tied for first. 144 games to get to 61 home runs. Okay. Aaron Judge to get to 61 is 155. What's impressive with Barry Bonds, like I told you, is that he also, if you remember looking, because I was a box score guy because there wasn't SportsCenter. At least I didn't have SportsCenter amounts because we have cable and shit. And very rarely, if there's a promotional, mom wasn't behind the bill, maybe.
Right.
But I would be a box score guy. Newspaper, we'd have study hall in the morning, go look at that, look at all the stats. Barry Bonds would have 2 at-bats a game.
Yeah.
2 at-bats. I guarantee if I brought that up, I'm a Barry Bonds guy. I think that they should be in. I think Mark McGwire should be in. He's even half-ass admitted that he took steroids. That had regrets. We'd have to go back and look. I think he half-ass admitted that he used steroids and he was apologetic for it. I'm pretty sure. Do you remember that?
I just remember denial and
I meant vaguely in the last just in the last few years, like when he was like a hitting coach for like the Cardinals or whoever he was with.
Yeah, there was something about regrets, but I don't think he directly said it, but he kind of led to it. Yeah. Yep.
So, like I said, we are on different sides of the fence on this one. I think it's awesome. I'm with you in the sense that they could have chose you don't need to ride the AL part. Like, you could have just left it with Maris, tied Maris, because then you're just talking Yankees, right?
Yep.
Just leave it at that then, right? That's pretty impressive. If they would have said it like that, would that change how you thought about it a little bit? If they would have said,
maybe,
has tied Maris with 61 home runs, leading Yankee?
Yeah, maybe. I think the other part of it is like baseball has nothing to promote right now. He is what they can promote. Yep. Batting is down, and that's what people want to watch. They want to see home runs, besides the top plays and stuff, right? But, yeah, that's where my beef's at, man. Obviously, it's a big feat, And I'm not hating on him for that, but it's more the media like blowing it up, and I'm not with it.
I got you. All right.
So let's do some quick hitters, man. What you got for news and notes?
First one was that Mr. Aaron Judge hit his 61st home run of the season, tying Roger Maris's mark. We spent enough time on that one. We'll roll the next one, though. And the Blue Jays have clinched a playoff berth with the Orioles' loss to the Red Sox. They last went to the playoffs in 2020 where they lost to the Rays. Two-part question. One-part question. And then I know you had something you were going to kind of bring up that you had seen that I hadn't seen about the Red Sox.
Yeah.
How far do you think the Blue Jays can go? How much faith do you have that they could go the distance?
I think they could go pretty far. They were one of our teams we talked about last year, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
They started to get hot at the end of the season, too. I want to say, did they miss the playoffs, though?
Yep.
Just by a hair?
Yep.
I think if they can keep this spot and go, they can make a run, man. Baseball is probably the biggest sport where the team that gets hot ends up winning it all, regardless of if you ended up with the best record and things like that. So, yeah, I think they could go far. I think they could make the World Series for sure.
If I remember correctly, were they the World Series favorites to start the season? If I remember correctly, I'm pretty certain, if I'm not mistaken or misinformed, I think they were in the AL for sure.
You might be right. Yeah, because I want to say the Dodgers were National League, and then
I want to say Blue Jays.
It could have been. Yeah,
I feel like
they're a good squad, man.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
So I think they can make some damage. I'm rooting for the only thing I'm rooting for Canada for.
Yeah, it's crazy in that division. So I just looked this up to kind of fact check myself. So Sunday night, the Red Sox actually were officially eliminated from playoff contention. So
okay.
They're not in. So it's going to be Yankees and Blue Jays. How weird is that?
That is weird, especially because are the Rays still? The Rays are still in the hunt then.
I think they're still in the hunt.
They're still in the hunt because there's 3 wild card spots now.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So they're still in the hunt. It is a little weird. That division is, my God, I would not want to be in there. Orioles who have been trying to battle themselves back, as in trying to build a foundation. You got to go against that. You're talking about the Rays, who are consistently in, right?
Yep.
The Yankees, who are going to pay for whatever to try to get there. You have the Blue Jays, who have done it semi-right and done free agency or signing trades and try to go with their young core, right?
Yeah.
And then the Red Sox, who are always right there when it comes to the money part too and trying to put it together. And God, they just beat up on each other, right? And then you have the AL Central.
Yeah, who nobody wants to make the playoffs, it seems
Right.
like. Yeah.
So,
Trash.
76er star Joel Embiid is now a U.S. citizen and says it is a blessing to be an American.
Thank you, Mr. Embiid. We're glad to have you, baby.
I was going to say, you're a guy.
Yep.
Yeah, Mr. Embiid there. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Chiefs-Bucks game will remain in Tampa after avoiding the worst of Hurricane Ian. The Vikings' home U.S. Bank Stadium was going to be the contingency plan.
Yeah, because we've got to go to fucking Europe and play.
Yeah.
We got a bit of a haul. Yeah, they got lucky down in Tampa with the weather. I don't know. It's nuts. That thing basically took up the whole state. So my 9 to 5 headquarters is actually in Clearwater, which is basically part of Tampa.
Okay.
And everybody was evacuated. There was 2 million people that had to be evacuated, right, from that area. And some areas you were like, oh, it was a windy day and it rained, right?
Yeah.
Some areas the cars were floating down the street. Wind was just tearing shit up. Obviously, hurricane.
I was watching trees. I was watching some TikToks, trees going down, or a tornado on the. Did you see that one?
Yeah, I don't think I saw the tornado.
Tornado or cyclone on the. I assume maybe, and I could be assuming wrong, so don't hold it against me. But I do believe it was on the ocean or it was on a big ass body of water, right down there, and it said Hurricane Ian, so it was down there, and I'm like, I didn't think they got tornadoes down there, and it was a clear cut tornado going down to the water.
Dude, I don't think we don't ever get hurricanes, right?
Right.
So I don't think I'd fuck with a hurricane.
Yeah.
Now, if you flip that and you ask them if they would sit around and watch a tornado come through, they would shit their pants. They'd be like, no, I would never do that, but I'd stay home for a hurricane. I'm like, damn, We're just like numb to it or what, Same thing for them. Because there's a lot of people that evacuated, but there's plenty of people that stuck around because they're like, I've been through this before, you know?
Good old solid big ass storm.
Yep.
We were talking about this not a side note, but kind of just along that lines. There's no way that you can get. There's got to be some version of insurance that doesn't. I mean, their insurance can't protect them fully, right? I mean, you already have loopholes up in the north about flooding, right?
Yep.
There's got to be shit. Like, hold on, how many hurricanes do they get down there? Like a year? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's got to be expensive as hell if they can get insurance.
Right,
man.
if they can get it, you're right. Am I wrong? I'm like, God, it seems a little bit. It would have been better for Chiefs and Bucks to play in the best stadium in the world, though. That is a fact in U.S. Bank Stadium.
That is.
They probably would have been able to pack it, too. I mean, every Bucks fan and Chiefs fan anywhere in the vicinity would have made that trek up north right there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, hold on, you're coming right up here. How often do you guys come up here? And they're going to sell them dirt cheap because they want to pack the stadium, obviously. So, and they're going to scramble to try to get the ticket, get tickets. So, it would
have been fun.
Yeah, that would have been a good time. I might have took a little jot up there for
why not?
$50 a ticket or some shit. You get to see Tom Brady play.
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes. Speaking of London, Mr. Jameis Winston and wide receiver Michael Thomas missed their second straight practice for the Saints. Concerned, or what's your thoughts here?
Yeah, definitely. I think Jameis needs the rest. I think he could still end up playing.
Mm-hmm.
I know they're prepping in case he doesn't. I am worried about Michael Thomas, though, man. He was already out for basically 2 seasons. Comes back. He's already dinged up. I'm worried about him long term more than anything. But
okay.
Yeah.
Evidently toe with him. Is
Yeah.
that what it is?
Yep.
So I made a trade. Traded him.
Well played.
Yeah, and he hit me up today. He's like, "You didn't," or he asked me the same day that he accepted the trade. You don't know anything more than what I do about Michael Thomas. I'm like, no, I just know he's banged up. I haven't read the red tag on there. He's like, well, it's a toe. I'm like, well, I legitimately had no idea. I was like, I figured it said that he was like day to day, so I'm like, it's no different than the dude I'm trading for. And that was Chris Godwin, and I needed 2 wide receivers. I needed some depth at wide receiver, and I gave up a running back and a wide receiver for that. So rolling the dice with Godwin because I think they need wide receivers. They need a wide receiver in Tampa Bay, so they need targets. So, that's the reason why I went for it. It had nothing to do with anything against Michael Thomas because Michael Thomas, I think, will be fine as long as Jameis is fine.
Yeah, and as long as he's healthy.
As long as he's healthy. I mean, when he's on the field, he showed he could be just fine. So
yeah.
Mr. Zion Williamson looked amazing and dominated team scrimmage, says Pelicans coach Willie Green.
Yeah. Did you see any video or pictures of him? He's in shape, dude. He's jacked. He's way thinner.
I take that back. I did. I saw the team
year.
photo because you've seen what the squad they were going to roll out there if they're all healthy, right? You have seen that?
Yeah.
Old boy from the Blazers, I keep messing up his name.
McCollum.
I'm forgetting his name. You have McCollum, you have Ingram, you have Zion, you have isn't it Steven Adams? Isn't that the center for him?
I think he's there.
I think he's there. Yeah. Yep. And then I'm missing somebody else, but they have a damn decent squad, a damn decent starting 5.
Yeah, and I mean they pushed Phoenix last year, right? Without Zion. He looks like he's getting his health in order. He's jacked. Well, I saw a video of him shooting threes and everything. He looks good. Can he stay healthy and stay committed like this? That's the question. But if he is, damn, watch out.
Right. Let's see. Devontae Graham, right? Is that the name? Herb Jones. That's who it is. The Pelicans starting 5. Herb Jones, Brandon Ingram, C.J. McCollum, Zion Williamson.
I don't know who the fuck Herb Jones is.
4. It's only 4 players. That's not even the truth. All right. No, now we're pulling it up.
Now we got to look, because I don't know who the fuck Herb Jones is.
That's who it is. Jonas Valanciunas is the center.
Oh, okay.
That's not a bad center right there.
Yeah.
Zion, Herb Jones, whatever. Brandon Ingram, C.J. McCollum. And then coming off the bench, Jackson Hayes, not too bad. Larry Nance Jr. They don't have much depth, so this is going to be purely the starters, but not bad.
Not bad at all.
Not bad. According to Forbes, the LA Clippers' Steve Ballmer is the richest owner in pro sports with a net worth of $83 billion. And this is even after taking $13.5 billion loss because of Microsoft stock taking a dip, just like every other stock.
Yeah. 8th. That seems pretty high based on
Eighth in overall, the highest sports owner, though. But yeah. Eighth. I was surprised by that too. The 8th in overall.
Yeah, I think for me it's like when you think of the guys like Bezos and Musk, they're like 1 and 2. They neck and neck, right? And then Gates is up there too. They're in 200 billion range, right? 300 billion range. So when you said 83 was 8th, I'm like, Jesus, there must be a big drop there somewhere, right?
Must be.
Some of those guys must have fell off.
Who is that Mexican? He was from Mexico, Mexican owner or something. He was the richest guy in the world for 1 year for sure. He was even above Gates, and this is when Gates was still full blown in Microsoft.
Who was that?
Like, where the hell did he go? You know?
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. These guys are. I mean, they've got the billions. They're probably just blowing it.
Would you like to? If you had the athletic talent and everything was there, would you like to play for a owner like Steve Ballmer? He looks pretty jacked. Like when he's out there,
Yeah.
Seems like he's a fan of his
into
team.
it, right?
He's into it, right?
Yeah. I don't want an owner that's just there to make money and it's just
right. It
another
seems like
project.
I bought this because I'm a fan of
Yeah.
this, right? Like I'm invested in this with you guys, like
him
like,
or Cuban, right?
yeah, the cubes,
Those kind of guys. Hell yeah, I'd love it.
cubes out there. What is that? Sport fishing,
Yes,
the
dude.
cubes
Love
and Daughtry. Is that what is that? Step Brothers.
Yeah.
Browns defensive end Myles Garrett was issued a citation for failure to control his motor vehicle after going 65 miles per hour and a speed limit of 45.
Yeah, so that's good to hear. 65 and 45, whatever. We've all done that.
Yeah.
So
It wasn't like 120.
Exactly.
So that's what. As soon as I didn't see triple digits, I'm like, all right, hold on.
yeah, they probably had to give him a ticket,
Yeah.
at that point. But he is a little more dinged up than what people thought. It sounds like he's probably going to miss this weekend, which is a big deal because the Browns defense doesn't look great anyway. And with him out, it's just going to be worse. But he's got like a shoulder issue. He's cut up all over the place naturally, right, from glass and whatnot. But again, just glad he's okay. And I'm glad I didn't see anything crazy like 130, doing something stupid. So
Yeah. Like I'm with you. We've all, hopefully no state troopers listen to this, but I think my average speed is about 15, 20 over when I'm on the highway here. I'm like 55 is way too slow.
yeah, if you get somewhere to be, there's no traffic.
Yeah,
What's
like,
up?
Come on.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I see where you come from. And that's what I got for quick hitters there, my man.
Easy enough. Do you have a strange law?
That I can get quick. I did forget to scan.
It's all good.
No, we're good.
All right.
Flock of chickens in one home offense. Considered offensive to throw a pickle on a trolley. Oh, here's one. That we're gonna go South Carolina. Rhode Island didn't have that many actually. And
they had that really weird one the other day.
They had the weird one with the toothpaste and toothbrush. They had two. Yeah, we've kind of heard some version of them in other states.
Right.
South Carolina, the very first one on the list here. By law, if a man promises to marry an unmarried woman, the marriage must take place. You cannot bail.
Wow. Holy shit.
So she goes and,
That's
bachelorette
intense.
party, and she ends up taking all the male strippers at one time. You still have to marry her.
Jesus, yeah. The fuck is going on? All right. I mean, if you're committed, you're committed, right?
No second guessing. If you ask, you got to roll.
Let me tell you something more interesting about the state of South Carolina.
Okay.
So back in 2003-ish, I was inches away from joining the military. And so this is just before everybody got sent to Iraq and all that stuff, right? I almost ended up going. Family stuff made me come back, but I was down there. I was going to go to basic training and that. And I ended up going somewhere. I don't know if it was a hospital for an exam or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, so we're talking 2002, 2003, something like that.
Yep.
They had a colored newspaper and a white newspaper.
Shut the fuck up.
Dead serious. So it was back, you could still put quarters in and get the newspaper out, right? Yeah. They had a colored and white one still at that point, dude. Isn't that fucking nuts?
It is.
It seems like a long time ago, but that was not that long time.
No, not really.
Like,
that's not long. That's not long at all. Like, especially when we've been preaching. It's the reason why, like, sometimes we live in a very warm, fuzzy state, if you want to call it that. We don't see racism like what other people see, like, in the violence in it usually and stuff like that. Usually, if someone's getting in a fight, it is legitimately because they don't like each other. It had nothing to do with, I shouldn't say nothing, but high majority isn't because of racial stuff. That's my point. Around here, we're not used to, we all get along.
Yeah, we don't see shit like that, man.
But you go there, and I have heard some crazy stuff about there. Like, they were still, obviously the Confederate flag was still flying, and I think it was flying. It wasn't. No, I was gonna say maybe it was flying above the American flag on one of their courthouses. But there was some fucked up shit down there. Like, there was bathrooms, like some weird stuff like that. I had heard. I had never. But you seeing it, I'm gonna go ahead and take your word on what's out. Like, what the hell?
And it was, before, like, all the cell phones and everything, so it's not like I could snap a picture. I was just like,
what the hell?
What world am I in right now? Like, you know, crazy. But yeah, bro, we've got our weekend full of football coming up.
Yep.
Let's go through some picks. Let's start with college. We've got a few games we want to talk about. We won't go through the whole gambit. But where do you want to start, man?
We'll roll with some, you know what? We'll get it right off the docket here. Michigan at Iowa. Now, Michigan is number 4 in the nation. They did thump Iowa in the Big Ten championship game last year. And Petrus may be worse than he was last year. What are you thinking the chances are of the Hawkeyes pulling off an upset?
So I'll be honest with you. I think the odds were better like a couple weeks ago before I started seeing all this like hype around, top 10 teams come to Iowa to die, right? Mm-hmm. It listed off, it's top 5. All the guys that have come ranked inside the top 5, and we've beat them a majority of the time. Like the last 5 times, we've beaten 4 out of the 5, I think.
It was 5 out of 6.
5 out of 6.
I've seen the same graphic you were talking about, and one of them was they got, was it Northwestern? I can't remember. It was somebody that, I thought it was top 10 too, but either way.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, I think the last one that beat us that I saw was like Penn State or something.
There you go. That's what it was. It was like 21-19, I think. That was a very close, yep.
Yeah, so I would have thought if we didn't talk about that, I would have thought Iowa had a good chance, but I think that's just ammo for Michigan to not let up in this game, basically. Mm-hmm. So I think Michigan takes care of business. I think our defense plays fine, and it ends up closer. That 10.5 is probably too much. 7, maybe a 10-point game.
Do you have an over-under on that?
Yeah, I'm seeing 42.
Under all day. I'm telling you. Under. I'm thinking 20-10.
That's exactly. You read my mind.
I'm thinking 20-10. So if it makes it, it's not going to make the 10.5. 20-10 is kind of what I'm feeling there. And this is purely out of respect for the defense and the special teams. I promise you with that. I'm basically calling my shot on a defensive touchdown or a special team touchdown.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think, this year for some reason people have been able to run on us a little bit. That's the little bit of a worry that I have. Michigan's a very good run team, but I think we can keep it close. But Michigan will ultimately win. Do you think any different on that?
No. Yeah. I think the magic comes to an end on taking out top 10 or top 5 teams, whatever it is, in the last 6. I think that comes to a screeching halt, actually.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. Let's see, Kentucky, Ole Miss. So Kentucky ranked number 7, Ole Miss 14, both teams 4-0. Ole Miss favored by 7, 54 over under.
Over.
God, I could totally see that too, yeah.
I'm feeling the over on this one. I want to say Kentucky so bad. So bad. It's this Ole Miss, I don't think it's going to be by 7. I think it's going to be it's just going to be under 7. I believe it's going to be under 7. I'm not going to say field goal, but it's going to be under 7, I think. I so badly want to say Kentucky. But every time, and this is purely, there's nothing logical with this. Every time I go against Ole Miss in a matchup like this, they always let me down. So, like, I've even thrown bets against them. And so I'm going to roll with Ole Miss. It's at home. That's where the separating factor is.
Yeah, I get it. This is going to be a really fun game. I don't think there's going to be a ton of defense played. I know Kentucky's defense is decent this year. Mm-hmm. I could see it going down to a last-second drive, but I think I'm going to go Kentucky in this game.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm going to see Kentucky pulls it off, whether it's by 3, 7, whatever. I think it's a close game, though. I do think over.
Are you
54.
feeling rich and rare on that bet?
Let's do it.
So warm whiskey on that one.
That's
warm
right.
Whiskey. All right, I'm going to write this down because our normal Spirit of Rio isn't here to do it.
That's
and
right.
that is Kentucky.
Kentucky and Ole Miss, baby.
Kentucky. Ole Miss.
Boom. And so rattling down the list here, let's see another game. You know what? This is a big game right here. Bama and Arkansas. It's in Arkansas. Over under 61. Jesus. Apparently there's no defense that Bama has either. Bama is, though, favored by 17.
No. Hell no to the 17.
Okay.
Bama rolls Tide, though, in this. I know they're your hogs and everything, but Bama's every week that they've went by after that Texas game, they're building more and more continuity, especially on offense with those young receivers. Bryce Young looks borderline unstoppable because to me, he's learned that if the pass isn't there, I'm going to take off. Like, I'm not going to sit back here and try to show you that I can wing it. You guys already know I can wing it. I'm going to take off. I'm going to get yards. And that's a huge deciding factor to me. It really is. The defense is coming around for Alabama. So I'm roll Tide.
Oh, man, this one's hard. This one's really, really hard.
This is your heart.
The only decent team, and I'm putting decent in quotes, that Bama has played is Texas. And they eked it out by the skin of their teeth. Everybody else, they're 50-point basically. No chance. I'm giving Arkansas the game here. I think they're going to punch Bama in the mouth, kind of like A&M did to them last year.
Damn.
Yeah. Arkansas, I'm not going to pick points, nothing like that. Arkansas is going to win the game, though. Home field's going to make all the difference for them.
Oh, this is definitely got.
We got two in a row.
This has got a rich and rare on it, and I think this needs to be a double because you know I'm a Roll Tide fan, and you have become an Arkansas fan, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So we're doing double.
All right, fine. Why not? Put it on the table. Let's go.
Bama.
Yep. Bama and Arkansas.
Arkansas,
good sir.
And we're going to put it 2 times right there. Bam.
Another fun game, though. So definitely 1 and 2. And that's 2:30 game for us. So, another one I think could be fun. Oklahoma State, Baylor.
Yeah.
Over under 56.5. Another high-scoring game. Baylor, though, favored by 2.5. So field goal could fuck that up. What do you think, man?
I do believe I am going to roll. I don't think there's enough love or respect coming from Oklahoma State. I like Baylor, you know that. It's kind of like my Big 12 team, if you want to call it that. Outside of an Iowa-based team.
Yeah.
So I've kind of liked Baylor, you know. I'm going to roll with Oklahoma State, though. I just think that they're more seasoned in this. They have the more proven coach, and he knows how to get them up.
Yeah.
They've taken care of everybody that they needed to. Central Mish, 58-44 was kind of close. They throttled Arizona State, throttled Arkansas Pine Bluff, but
yeah, you know what? We rode them for a while last year. Let's go ahead. I'm going Oklahoma State too.
Okay.
I like the experience. I think they're a good team. They should end up winning the Big 12 this year, to be honest with you.
There we go.
Yeah. Really, probably the last one here. North Carolina State, Clemson, number 10 versus number 5. Both teams 4-0. This is a little bit lower, over under 43. Clemson, though, favored by 7. What do you got, Jimmer?
This is Clemson. I'm on board with the Ugulele. I've seen enough now this year. Last year we beat the dog piss out of him. He wasn't right. He didn't look right. He was throwing wrong. The whole thing, it just looked like shit. He's rejuvenated himself. He's back to being the 5-star quarterback that he was brought in to be, and has taken his lumps and has learned. So yeah, it's at Clemson, Death Valley. They're gonna roll. They're gonna roll this game.
Yeah, and
what was the over under, or what's the
43? I'm gonna take the over on that.
I'll take the over. But what'd you say the
7?
7.
Clemson.
Yeah, that Clemson gets that by 7.
Yep, I'm in. Yep, Clemson's going to win this game. I do think North Carolina State's going to be sneaky good, though, so I don't know if they cover. North Carolina State did beat that Texas Tech team that we're a big fan of the coach, so I like that. But, yeah, I'll take the over in that, and Clemson taking care of business.
You want no chatter about Georgia, Missouri?
No.
At Missouri?
No, I don't. I do not. Last week was a relatively close game for Georgia.
Yeah.
They're not going to let that happen again, especially against the Mizzou team.
Boom, boom.
Yeah, let's go NFL, baby.
Yeah. So tonight we have a game going on right now.
Bengals up 7-3 on the Dolphins right now.
7-3. Well, that's good because they money lined Miami because they were underdogs.
And they got Tua in the game with his back injury. So
back injury and ankle, but not a head injury.
Yeah, no head injury at all.
No head injury.
Weird.
So before this game's still relatively close. We'll call this out just for our own personal pride. I still think Miami's gonna win this game. I want Cincinnati to win if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm pulling for him. I'm a Joe Burr guy. I think that offensive line is melding. I think they only gave up 1 sack, or maybe they even gave up none in the last game. They might have finally gave up 1. I can't remember, but yeah, Miami on that one.
All right, I'll take the Bengals.
Okay.
They're going to right the ship, and starting off 2-2 is a lot better than 1-3. The Dolphins finally get that loss they should have got last weekend. So Bengals to right the ship, take care of business tonight.
Okay. The first one on mine, I don't know about you. I assume it is because we are Viking fans.
Yes, sir.
Is we'll get it out of the way because it is also the London game. So if you play fantasy football, they play this game at 8:30 in the morning. Get your fantasy lineups in. Pay attention to injuries. Pay attention if the inactive list.
Yes, exactly. It's an early one. Do it Saturday night. Be safe.
Yeah, be safe. Minnesota at New Orleans in London. What are you feeling?
Yeah, I think with the injuries that the Saints have, especially if Jameis can't go, I think the Vikings win. I think it's an ugly game. Traveling, everybody's going to be, dealing with that shit. Vikings pull this out, though. I do think we're going to see some surprise shit. Maybe Taysom Hill does some crazy shit. If Jameis is hurt, still, I guess, at that point. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, Vikings take care of business. That defense doesn't look nearly as great for the Saints as it once had, and obviously the offense is kind of sputtering. So, yeah, give me the Vikings in this one.
I take the Vikings. What's the spread?
2.5 for the Vikings.
They're getting 2.5?
So the Vikings are favored by 2.5.
Oh, they're favored by 2.5.
Yeah.
They cover that.
Yeah.
This is, I'm going to go ahead and call my shot. This is the game that Kirk Cousins is going to blow up on. That reminds you that, because there's been so much shit talk about him recently. So he'll have that blow up game. Every year he has that blow up game, right? Like after he has a few bad ones to kind of be like, I am one of the better in the league. Not best. You notice how I said that. One of the better in the league. And watch this. I told you, or whatever. What the hell does he say? You like that? Yeah. It's going to be one of those that he finds JJ. Coach listens to 3 Gig Sports and Kevin O'Connell, and he starts moving JJ around back heavily. Dalvin Cook, they do a snap share with him, and Alexander Madison has been running angry, and I love it, and that's what you're going to see. Fantasy implications, though, for you. Start Alvin Kamara because the Vikings cannot stop giving up 7, 8, 9-yard gashes and runs. So,
yeah, you always start Alvin Kamara, even though he looks rough this year.
Right.
Especially against our defense.
You're going to do it with a little more confidence this week, right?
Yeah. JJ is not going to have 3 straight dog shit games.
No.
So you're definitely starting him. Don't be worried. God, I don't know if I have a lot of faith. Start Olave for the Saints for sure. He's a target hawk. I just hope that doesn't. I guess, you might think about it a little bit depending on who the quarterback is, but with Jameis, he's getting 11, 12, 13 targets a game at this point. So you start him and Kamara for sure. Anybody else for the Saints?
For the Saints, if Taysom Hill rolls, I would think about it.
How's he going to roll? They're going to call him a tight end or a quarterback?
See, it's supposed to be Andy Dalton, but I'm telling you, I think they'd run more of his sub packages because of Andy Dalton being in there. And I say you roll the dice on that. And then he's also going to be playing the H-back tight end, which Andy Dalton likes his tight ends also. So,
and let's be real, tight ends are terrible this year in fantasy.
Yeah. So you get to start him at tight end, and you're going to get some possible quarterback numbers out of him. So that'd be the other one I'd be thinking about. Vikings, stay away from Irv Smith Jr. Not only just the drops, but they're actually pretty decent against the tight end. But look for, I obviously JJ, but I'm going to give you another one. I told you some Alexander Madison, but I'm going to give you KJ Osborne if you're in desperate need of a flex.
Yeah, there's a lot of wide receiver injuries, so yeah.
There is.
Yeah.
So look for KJ Osborne, definitely in your flex. He kind of had to remind Kirk, hey, I'm here, bro. Like, Adam Thielen's lost a step. I hate to say that because I'm an Adam Thielen guy. You know that. He still has the hands, but look for KJ.
Right on.
You want?
Yeah. I'll go with this one.
Okay.
Browns, Falcons, dog shit game. Not going to be fun to watch. Over under 47, and the Browns are only favored by a point.
Over 47.
Holy shit. The Falcons, they're sneaky competitive this year, man.
They are, and they throw up points because they're always playing from behind, right?
Yeah.
Now you're playing without Myles Garrett, too.
That's true.
On the defensive side.
Yep.
There's nothing on the Falcons' defense that's scary. Jacoby Brissett is going to – I'm not saying he's in ball, but he's a guy that gets you 2-3 touchdowns, roughly. Distribute. The running game is balling for – let's not understate that. The running game is balling for the Browns and Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
I'm feeling the over. I'm feeling 28-20.
Who you pick? Tell me who you're picking for this game. Please tell me who you're picking.
This is hard.
Because I'm in too.
Atlanta's going to pull this off.
Yeah. Atlanta's going
to pull this off, right?
They're going to win this game, dude. Yeah.
They're going to win this game. I think they've been playing people so close, no respect. It's in their house. There's so many things going wrong with everything that can go wrong right now for the Browns is going wrong for the Browns, right?
Yeah.
Yes, they have a victory or two under their belt, but God, everything that you just lost your defensive stud.
What's funny is they are this close to being 3-0. If not for the Jets,
they're
3-0.
Yep.
And that's fucking bonkers to me. Falcons have been competitive with everybody, with way better teams than the Browns. Mm-hmm. They're going to pull this out, dude.
Yep.
They're going to win this game. I'm totally with you on that, man.
There you go. Washington and Dallas. At Dallas. I don't have the thing for the fucking...
It's all good. 51.
Oh, maybe I should have done this. My bad. That's the reason why. I didn't have it under the scores part, but go ahead.
Okay, 51 over under.
I have 41 and a half.
No, I'm looking at the wrong one. Sorry.
So I have 41 and a half.
Cowboys favored by 3.
I'm actually thinking the under. The Cowboys defense is, I hate to say it, is pretty fucking scary good right now.
They're playing well, yeah.
They are. And Washington's defense can play pretty damn well, right? And it is still a backup. Cooper Rush can't go 4 for 4, right? And I'm talking about a come from behind victory.
3 in a row, yeah.
I'm thinking I'd probably take the over because 41 and a half is really low, so I'm not going to go crazy. Commanders get right. Cooper Rush comes back down to earth so that it sets the table for Mr. Dak Prescott. The only way this gets reverted for me, the only way, literally, is one Mekhi Parsons just obliterates the game and gets in Wentz's head. That's the only way that I truly believe that the Commanders don't win this game.
Yeah, so you're picking the Commanders, though?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm with you on that. Commanders, I got this.
Yep.
I think they're going to be a little more prepared for Micah Parsons because his ass just got sacked 9 times against the Eagles. Okay? Yep. So I think that's going to make him a little more aware. This man gets injured. walking down the street, okay?
Yeah.
So we need to protect him. They're going to put some extra pieces on Parsons. Nobody else is really putting pressure on the quarterback besides him on that Dallas defense. I think they get right. The run game is good. Carson has a decent game. I'm with you. I don't think it's going to be exciting as far as points go, but Commanders take care of business. Hell yeah, dude.
You think the Cooper Rush thing comes to an end finally, though?
Yeah, and I think it's going to be good for Dak because he doesn't need to hear that shit.
He doesn't need to hear it going into the week that comes back. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Cooper Rush is a nice story. You're a good backup. That's what you need to seal the deal with, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's a dog shit game because it's not.
It's not.
On one side, Lions Seahawks.
Yeah, I think this one will be quick. Lions, right?
Lions.
Yeah.
Lions wrap this up. Anyone from the Seahawks you would think about starting, though? Now, we need to be full blunt about this, though. DeAndre Swift may miss this game. I think he is going to miss this game.
He's going to miss a few games.
He's going to miss a few games. Amon St. Brown, we don't know about yet, which is his number one receiver.
So it could be a little more competitive.
Because the Seahawks have been putting everything they got into it. They don't have much talent, but they're putting everything they got, right?
Yeah, I mean, just because of the quarterback situation, not because of Detroit's defense, I don't even know if I'd be confident starting DK. In his penny, you never know about him, but if he was healthy, you wish you could start. I don't know if I'm starting anybody from the Seahawks.
No.
If
I add they were on my do not draft list. Every last one of those players was. Unfortunately, DK is a very fine wide receiver, so is Tyler Lockett. Sorry, I can't do it.
Yeah. Totally agree. I think they handle him too, right? 10-ish plus.
Yeah, about 10.
Yeah.
At least 10. We'll say double digits. Titans Colts division game in Indianapolis.
Ooh.
43 over under. Indy is favored by 3.5.
Favored finally again after that rough start. Man, both teams struggling. Not a lot of weapons for receivers. I don't know if you saw this.
I did. You posted it on our thing. I know where you're going.
Yeah, but Mr. Taylor has missed his first practice since before high school. Okay? And so you think, oh, that's great. That means he never gets hurt and everything. But he does have a shitload of miles on him. The way they ran him at Wisconsin, the way they've run him so far in Indy. I'm very worried about that. And I know people are going to be like, it's only a thing because, he missed a practice as long as he plays. Yeah, but that starts to pile up. You have a ton of miles. That's when shit starts to happen. Think about your car. Once you hit 100,000 miles, that's when shit starts to fucking break down, right?
Yep.
Same idea. So I'm worried about him. Maybe not in this game, but I am worried about that. But with all that said, the Colts figured out how to win last week. They're going to win again this week. I think it is kind of a close game. Maybe not super pretty, run heavy, but the Colts pull it out.
I think Chris Jones woke up Matt Ryan with some smelling salt and pissed him off.
Yes.
And I think you're going to get the Matt Ryan that he was supposed to be when he signed with him, what we all thought they were going to be.
I love that you said that. Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to blow them out or anything like that. It is a division game at the end of the day.
Yeah.
This is going to be a close one regardless. But I'm going to have to side with the Colts on this one. Michael Pittman and our guy Matt Ryan have a connection already. Matt Ryan started throwing to other receivers as well in this game, so that to get the touchdowns and stuff like that. So seeing the rest of the field, Jonathan Taylor should still be good for the game, I assume, and he'll get right against the Titans. I'm not quite as concerned as you are yet on him, but I don't think he's going to have that long of an NFL career because of all the miles.
Yeah.
Which sucks for us that we don't get to see that.
Yeah, because he's great, dude.
But yeah, he is very. So, real quick, easy one, Colts.
Absolutely.
Want to go with the next one?
What do you got? Your order's a little different, so you can keep rolling.
Okay. I got Bears at the Giants. Both 2-1. Giants coming off that heartbreaker. Let's not fool ourselves just because it looked like it was a big old butt whooping by score. That game was extremely close. A couple things bounced the wrong way at the last few minutes of that game. So, and the Bears just look like a shit show. So I don't know how they're 2-1.
Yeah. It's a little tougher than it looks. The Giants do have a lot of wide receivers injured, including. Man, it sucks, but he got hurt again, right? Sterling Shepard.
Yep.
He just cannot catch a break, man. and he's been the most important part of that receiving core this year.
And Kenny Galladay has dropping passes when he was out there.
He's non-existent. He just fucking doesn't count, man. Yeah. Kadarius Toney could be playing, I guess, so maybe that gives him a little spark. But obviously, their running back he's playing phenomenal. You called it at the beginning of the year. You said this could be the year where he proves who he is, and he's done that so far.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely give me the Giants in this game. This, on its face, over under 39. This could be one of those games where the Giants surprise you and score a shitload of points, and they beat up the Bears. I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
So travel from Chicago to New York is also quite a haul too.
Yep.
So think about that.
I'm gonna roll same thing here. I think it's pretty closed door here. Saquon is gonna ball out. That Bears defense is not the same as what it used to be. If you need a receiver to start for you, and if you're scratching the bottom and you need one and you got to pull it out of this game for whatever reason, look at that Ricky James, wide receiver for the Giants. Been balling out. Last game, what did he have? I don't have it right in front of me.
Can't remember if he had five or six catches, but
all right, game by game, 4 receptions, 5 receptions, 5 receptions.
Yeah, 5.
He averages about 5 to 6 targets a game. You said they're missing Sterling Shepard. That number could go up by another 1 or 2 on both lines there. I'm just saying for a little desperation mode because I feel like he's due for a touchdown too. I'm giving him a touchdown in this game.
Yep. Let's go.
So, clicking back here. We got the Jags, the 2-1 Jags at the Philadelphia Eagles, who are undefeated. Are the Eagles going to be undefeated after this game, Danny?
This one's a really, really tough game.
Because we don't. Can I interject? We don't, because we don't know about the Jaguars yet, right?
Yep.
Like, it's so weird to even talk like that. Like, hold on. Are we still thinking about last year and previous year's Jaguars, or did we turn a corner? Are we? I don't know where you're thinking it is. Like, this is hard for me.
It's hard. I do think they've turned a corner. I don't know how much they've turned.
Right.
They're definitely a lot better. Way better coach. That coach, speaking of which, is going back home to Philly. It's a revenge game for him. Yeah. You know what? All right. I'm doing it. I'm picking the upset here. I'm going to pick the Jags to beat the Eagles.
Are you? There you go.
Break that undefeated record. Let's go. I think the run game is great. I think Christian Kirk, I think you're future Hall of Famer. I think the Jaguars play well. And the Eagles they can't do anything. That defense is good. But we've seen this in the last 2 games. The Eagles don't score in the second half when teams adjust. Yep. So if they start off slow, they're not going to be able to finish the game and beat the Jags. I'm picking the Jags to win. They're going to cement themselves as legit in the NFL this year.
Oh, fuck yes. I'm digging it. I'm digging every second of what you just said. I think because to build, the one thing I can build on to what you just said there was that if they start off slow, or for the Jaguars are going with them punch for punch in the first half. Jaguars, I don't know if are going to slow down in the second half like the Eagles have been.
Yeah,
I don't think that's getting enough publicity when we're talking about games. Is like the Eagles have not been a good second half team. They came out rolling in the first half. Defensive line and edge rushers and blitzers get to pin their ears back the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So they've been pulling their weight. So I'll give Philly that respect. But Jaguars have gotten a hell of a lot better. That's what happens after years and years of spending millions and millions of dollars in free agency and getting top picks, and eventually this is what you're going to get. You're going to get an offensive line that can half-ass protect a pretty bright young quarterback, and you have a bunch of weapons. And we're the first ones that we've already half-ass eaten the Christian Kirk thing.
Agreed.
You know, there's a connection. They saw something that we didn't. So I'm going to roll with the Jags too.
Let's go.
I am. I'm rolling with the Jags. I want to be on there when I'm saying when it is figured out that they are that team that's going to be a damn good a good team this year.
Yeah.
You know, I think we kind of borderline picked at the beginning of the season too. We said it's going to be kind of we're thinking somewhere between 7 and 9 wins, weren't we? Weren't we kind of flirting with that?
Yeah.
So we're going to keep riding with that. We got the Jets 1-2 at the Steelers 1-2.
Yeah, Jets have their quarterback back, but they have to go to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's not going to start 1-3. Not a fun game to watch.
Yeah.
But I think Najee does break out this game. I'm going to take Steelers over the Jets. I know. I think they'd have a better shot with Joe Flacco, but Zach's going to start, dude, just so you know. So
I'm going to go with the Jets Jets.
Okay. You were relatively high, not high, but higher on them to start the year.
I had the defensive side that I'm still going to ride with on this one. I don't know about the offense. I could see Flacco coming in at halftime, and this game is going to be close. In fact, they have Pittsburgh favored by only 3.5 at home. I'm not sold on the Steelers defense since TJ Watt has not been in there. They have not been the same. It's not the same. It's not as fearful, not as scary. I don't know how else you want to put that, but something's not right with the continuity of that defense since TJ isn't out there. I'm not saying TJ was only it, just something, the chemistry isn't right? Something isn't feeling right.
He's so important, yeah.
I do believe Najee is going to have a game, though. So if you're a Najee Harris owner, feel good about that when it comes to fantasy points for sure. This would be a low-scoring affair, though. I'm thinking 20-17. So I would actually take the under on this. It looks like it'd be 37.
Yeah.
In mine, but let's see. Chargers at the Texans, the feisty Texans. Where are we leaning?
I know the Chargers don't look good, but they're so much better top to bottom than the Texans. I can't even convince myself to give an argument why the Texans would win. So I'm going to take the Chargers in this game. They just got beat up pretty handily last weekend. They're coming out. They need to win. They can't start 1-3, especially in that division. Chargers over Texans.
I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to keep this short and sweet. Going to go with the Chargers. I'm surprised it's only 5, so that's giving some love to the Texans, keeping it respectable and tight and playing up. So I'm going to roll the same thing. If they don't win, I'd be shocked.
Yeah, agreed.
We got the Cardinals at the Panthers. West Coast going to East Coast. Trying to set you up here. Carolina is -1.5. They're both 1-2.
Yeah, neither team is very good. Just to be blunt.
But on different sides of the ball, right?
No, I mean the Cardinals' offense isn't very good either.
Not very good, but you would take the Cardinals' offense over the Panthers' offense, right?
Just because of Baker.
But then you would take the Panthers' defense over the Cardinals. That's what I meant.
Yeah. Yep. But if they make the right adjustments and they get C-Mac the ball more.
C-Mac he went to questionable or doubtful.
Oh, that's going to change my mind.
He's definitely questionable. I know that for sure.
Okay, so if he's dinged up, they're going to try not to make him be out for the season again. I'll give the Cardinals an edge. Close game. I don't think the Panthers are a bad team. They're literally a quarterback away from being a pretty good team.
They have everything else.
Yeah, they've got talent, man. Running back, skill positions, defense is good. God, it sucks. I'll give the Cardinals the edge in this game, though. Another close one for Kyler. It might be something stupid where he comes back again because he decides not to play until the second half, apparently.
Nope.
But yeah,
that's because he hasn't studied film. Remember?
That's true. Yeah, so he has to learn while he's playing him and then be like, oh, here's what I should do.
I'm going to roll with the Panthers and literally for only one reason, and that is because of the West Coast going east. It does not bode well. It's let me double check. Oh, I might double check. I may change this. This is a 3:05 game.
That helps.
That does help. Yeah. It's that noon start that screws with the West Coast coming to the east. I'm still going to roll with the Panthers. That defense is balling out. That's what ended up getting them their last victory. What I mean balling out is against these mediocre-ish teams.
Yep.
I don't know about Baker getting right. That's one team that definitely should have asked if they could send their own doctors to go see Jimmy G's shoulder, because that's all they need. I'm not saying we talked about this many times. I'm not gonna beat this too hard, but Jimmy G is a serviceable quarterback. Baker Mayfield is even a serviceable quarterback. Yeah. You just need a guy to get it to a couple of these receivers and then feed into your run game and not turn the ball over so your defense can handle business. So
yeah, hey, with that said, I could see the Panthers pulling it off because Baker could have a decent game against that Cardinals defense, right? Good. So I could see where you're going with that. I won't argue with that at all. I think it's going to be close and not super fun to watch, to be honest with you.
You're not going to want any part of this. Yeah. Let's see. Got the Patriots at the Packers. I do believe this is Mr. Brian Hoyer at the helm.
Yeah. Give me the Packers. Won't be very high scoring again. I mean, over under only 40.5, right? Yeah, give me the Packers in this game all day.
They're 9.5.
Yeah.
You thinking they'll win by 10?
Yeah, 10, I think. So
I don't know what their official ranking is, but the Green Bay defense is rated like number 3 in fantasy.
they're a really good defense.
They are.
Yeah.
Not against Week 1 Vikings. They weren't.
Oh, I set you up there.
I'm gonna roll with the Packers too on this one. It's gonna be by that 9.5. It is going to be. It's gonna be under. It's gonna be under 40.5.
Yeah, it's gonna be like 17-6 or something.
Yeah, it'll be
stupid.
something weird.
Yeah,
because they didn't look that. Green Bay did not look that impressive against Tampa Bay either.
No.
It's so. Just saying.
Yeah, New England. If they had Mac Jones, I'd give him more credit. Right.
So we're 2 games away from. Okay, so remember this Patriots one, obviously, and then 2 games away. I'm also gonna point something out to you. Interesting stat I saw.
Okay.
That I know you'll dig.
I'm in.
Let's see. Broncos at Raiders. 2-1 Broncos at the 0-3 Raiders, and the 2-1 Broncos are not that impressive of a 2-1. What are we thinking here?
Go ahead. You kick this off.
Okay. Raiders have to get right here. The Broncos defense is balling out. I will give them that 1,000%. The Broncos have not looked that impressive. The Raiders are putting up points. They're not putting up an astronomical amount of points, but they're putting up points, I think they're still trying to get some shit figured out, learning the offense McDaniel's got. I think they get right here. They know Devontae Adams is pissed, and Derek Carr is going to make sure that man gets the ball. If you have Devontae Adams, you're going to be a happy man this week, I believe.
Yep, I could not agree more. I'm excited, too, to watch Russ lose because he has not deserved the wins that he's gotten this year. Raiders right the ship, and we start to realize, okay, they are legit. They just had a rocky start, have to figure things out. They beat the Broncos. I do think it's a close game. I think it'll be decent to watch. The Raiders will put up some points, though. So.
I think about 20-17 is what I'm thinking. Yeah. Maybe 23-17, something in that ballpark.
Yeah.
Chiefs Bucks. We already kind of alluded to this is going to be played at Tampa Bay. Defense is balling out. There is a shot that Chris Godwin does play in this game. He has limited practices this week. What are you thinking here? By the way, Chiefs coming off a loss.
Yeah. Over under 46. I think it could very well be under in this game.
Yep.
We saw what the Bucs did to Aaron Rodgers, who does not have a true number 1 receiver. The Chiefs do not have a true number 1 receiver, and the Packers have better running backs. They've got a better defense. This is going to be a close game, but Tom Brady's going to be pissed. It's going to be another loss because their offense cannot do enough unless Lenny can get going against the Chiefs. So I'm going to caveat this. If he gets going and he has a big game, the Bucs could win this game. But if they keep relying on Tom like they're trying to do, they haven't been able to score points, and they won't be able to keep up with the half-assed offense the Chiefs will have. So I'm going to take the under and the Chiefs to win this game in a close game.
That will be Mr. Sunday Night Football, too.
Yeah, another one of those on Sunday night.
This one's difficult because you think what the Bucs can do but haven't been doing. They do get Mike Evans back, too, by the way.
Yeah.
So you have Mike Evans, possibility of Chris Godwin. You have another week of Mr. Measley Beasley. That defense is playing ridiculous for the Bucs right now. Don't know if I'm completely sold on the Chiefs' offense. It looks good one week. It obviously did not look good last week. I'm going to go with the Bucs. And I'm going to do what I did last week. And it kind of hosed me, of course, because the Packers won. But the Buccaneers' defense is going to be the deciding factor in this one.
Got it. Yeah, I agree. That Bucs defense is really good. Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
This should be a fun game.
Yes.
Fingers crossed, right? Last Monday and Sunday night were dog shit. Mm-hmm. Rams travel a bit to San Francisco. 42.5 over under. Niners only favored by 1.5. So
I'm going to start this one off by over. It's going to be over 42.5. This one's difficult. Division game. This is always goes. It doesn't matter what these two teams do. They just... I think the 49ers defense all around is better than the Rams. Star-studded. Because they have some star-studded guys, but do they have enough at every level? I think the Niners do. In fact, they have a nice young piece coming up. I don't know if you saw him. He looks a little Troy Polamalu-esque.
Yes, I did see that.
Okay,
yeah.
you did see him. He's
Yep.
all over the place,
Yep.
too, right? He launches himself. He does everything.
Yep.
I'm still rolling with the Rams, though. I'm rolling with the Rams because I'm not sold on Jimmy G. 100% not sold on Jimmy G. And I think as long as they can keep... Nope, switching back. 49ers. I'm going with the defensive line. Is going to they're going to go through that offensive
Yes.
line of the Rams, unfortunately, because that's the worst position to not have, because nobody's trading offensive line in the middle of the season. You have nothing to offer, even if there was someone willing to trade offensive linemen. You're in a hole. So, yeah, give me the Niners in a very close one.
Field goal game, right? Yeah, I'm totally with you. I'm glad you switched and thought about that offensive line, because San Francisco's D-line is legit. They're going to get to him. They're going to scramble him. I mean, God, he's already dinged up a little bit. He could get dinged up more. I'll take the over 2, but not by much.
Yeah.
I see this, what is it, 42.5, like a 24-20 or something, right? Like right in there. Niners win this game. Yeah, for sure. I like Shanahan in this one.
There we go. What was the stat I was going to give you? I was supposed to do it after the Bucks one.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe I should wait until I actually have it. I'll have Eric send me that screenshot so that I can show you. We can put it on the video too.
Okay.
Highly intriguing. I can give you the basis for it. I don't know the numbers, like how many games. The basis of it is how many games before your team had ever given up 43 points or more in a game. How many games you had played a starting quarterback that your defense had given up 43 or more points. And there's a list of quarterbacks on here. We're talking Patrick Mahomes. We're talking about Joe Montana. We're talking about a big old long list of guys. Dan Marino.
Okay.
One Tom Brady, the one stat I can give you that I know that it said for a fact is 0. 0 times has a defense or has an offense scored 43 plus points. And I'm talking about their offense, not anything else. 43 plus points on a Tom Brady-led team.
What did the Eagles score against them in the Super Bowl? Wasn't it about that?
It must have been 42.
It must have been just under, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
And and it did clearly say offense scored.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't know if there was a defense or anything on
so I
there too.
wonder. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. That makes sense. That's nuts. I do, before we wrap her up, I want to get a shout out to Cole Hanna. So we had him on the podcast here a few months back.
Yeah.
He was formerly a kicker for the University of South Carolina. And so he's actually up north getting his degree, his master's actually, in civil engineering, I believe. And his father had actually reached out. He's like, hey, just want you to know, Cole was pretty jacked to talk to you guys, and we love to talk to him too. He was a good cat.
Yeah.
He sent us a video, and we'll put this on the YouTube at this point in the podcast too. Man, I have not seen this from a kicker, since I'm thinking like, Janikowski or something. He absolutely truck sticks this returner on a kickoff return, and it was fucking phenomenal. So if you get a chance,
It's in our Facebook Messenger?
yeah,
Okay.
yep, hop to YouTube after we get this bitch put up and check it out, because he just lays the wood. And keep in mind, this kid is 5'8", okay? But
And
he
a kicker.
loves, and he's
And a
a
kicker.
kicker. Yeah, double whammy. But he just lays the wood on this kid. So it's pretty awesome. Shout out to Cole and Ty, his dad. Appreciate the video. We'll go ahead and post that and hype you guys up. Love to see it, man. But I'll give it a make sense. It's a kind of a make sense. it's kind of more of a story. I'm going Myles on it tonight.
Okay.
You reminded me of this a week or so ago. So we both grew up in wonderful Mason City, Iowa.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I took my kids over to see their grandma in Mason City, Iowa, and go to knock on the door, and she lives in this apartment building. And the kids are with her, like, is this where she is? You know, kids being crazy. My son's 6, daughter's 3, right? And all of a sudden I hear somebody singing or doing something, like, behind us. And I was like, oh, maybe it's my mom being funny or something, you know?
Yeah.
And whatever. And I turn around, and I'm like, oh, hey, thinking it was her, and it definitely was not. This gal comes up, and who knows how old she was at that point, I guess, because certain kind of drugs make you look a little older. Mm-hmm. But she walks right by us, doesn't even look at us, and is just fucking singing some random shit, tilting her head back and forth, fucking walking straight down where we're at.
Yeah.
And so my kids have never seen a person on methamphetamines or any type of drugs in their life. And this was their first time.
That was their first.
Lovely Mason City. And
out there messing around.
Yeah. And my daughter, who's blunt as hell, she's like, who is that? I'm like, you don't want to know. I don't want to know. I have no idea.
Right.
Apparently they have a song in their head right now. Okay. We're just going to go to the car. Let's go. Hurry up. So that was our wonderful experience. They got to see that. I obviously haven't explained exactly what the hell happened. Maybe somewhere later in life. But
yeah, man,
you're just like, God, I love coming home, baby.
Yeah, right. Makes sense if you don't think about it.
It definitely does. Holy cow. And I guess the words of wisdom, maybe I need to expose my kids to shit like that so they know what the hell's going on more.
Well, I don't know about quite like that, but maybe they need to get out of the house a little more often because they'll just see it walking on the street or something. Yeah. I don't know, but...
Hey, look, Dad, that's a crackhead. You're right.
You are correct.
That is correct. They have no idea, though, but I was just like, fuck, man, of course.
Of course there is.
Yeah. What else would it be here? But yeah, man, did you have anything else? We can start to wrap her up.
Yeah, we're good.
Let's do it, baby. So, all of you beautiful people out there who happen to stumble upon us on the internet, we've got the video up tonight. We did not forget to record, so you can see our beautiful faces. If you found us anywhere on the interwebs, be sure to like, subscribe, share it if you want to, but definitely give us a rating. That helps us a ton when it comes to getting the reach and things like that to different people. But speaking of that, Jimmer, where's the podcast available?
Anywhere and everywhere you can think of, my man. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and YouTube.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You know you love to see our beautiful faces. But we also have this amazing deal with FitBod. It's called Code 3GIG. If you download the app and start using it, you save 25%, Jimmer. 25%. Save yourself some money. Get in shape. Wintertime's coming. You know you need it. Be sure to check it out. I swear to God, it's badass.
Yeah.
I use it every day. Love it. It makes life easier. And like I said, it sets everything up for you. It's badass. But along with that, we love to tell stories. We talk about crackheads. We talk about our families all the time. If you have a story you want us to share, feel free to shoot it to us. Slide down into the DMs. We'll go ahead and share it.
Just like Cole Hannah's dad.
That's right, man. We'd love to see stuff like that. We saw him just, like I said, truck stick this cat to the sideline. It was fucking awesome. And we'll hype it up. We'll talk about it on the show. We can leave names out. Doesn't really matter. We just love to talk shit and tell stories. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you, everybody, for listening. This is 3GIG Sports. We out.